What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. Today is August 19th, 2023. Going to the Art of War. The chapter we're on right now is Terrain, and we are going to verse 26. If, however, you are indulgent, but unable to make your authority felt, kind-hearted, but unable to enforce your commands, and incapable, moreover, of quelling disorder, then your soldiers must be likened to spoiled children. They are useless for any practical purpose. So, the first thing I think of is the recent trend in tech upstart and industries like that, where the workplace was more geared towards recreation and creativity as opposed to creativity with a get something done mindset. And while that might be good and progressive, if they are so spoiled, then, well, you're not doing them a favor when they have to go back out into the real world. So, on to the alternate translation. I'm just following up on the beloved children, and they'll die with you. But Master Sun says, if you are so nice to them that you cannot employ them, so kind to them that you cannot command them, so casual with them that you cannot establish order, they are like spoiled children, useless. And Cao says, rewards should not be used alone, punishments should not be relied on in isolation. Otherwise, like spoiled children, people will become accustomed to either enjoying or resenting everything. This is harmful and renders them useless. So, on a societal level, to me, this says people becoming accustomed to what we have. They don't appreciate the freedoms that we have, and so this is kind of harmful to society overall, and it creates a useless generation of people, in a roundabout way. Of course, we've got outliers from every generation, but good times create weak men create hard times create strong men create good times, and the cycle perpetuateth thus. If we extrapolate this onto a societal level, yes, we can definitely see the correlations. But on a personal level, if you're so nice to yourself that you cannot employ them, if you are so nice to yourself that you don't get up and go to the gym, you can't employ your physical capabilities, if you're so nice to yourself that you don't take advantage of reading, if you're so nice to yourself that you just relax and chill and drink martinis by the beach with an umbrella, there's no employability of any of those skills, what in a way. And then you're so kind to them that you cannot command them. And so after a while, laziness creeps in, and then it's hard to break that cycle of playing video games too much, or sitting on the couch eating Cheetos and watching whatever, or not going to the gym enough, or even the small things that we all know can add up, the extra spending here or there, the extra piece of chocolate pie there or there, etc. So you get so nice that you can't employ your skills, and then you start becoming lazy because times are so good, and then you can't really command yourself when times get hard again, and so it's difficult. And then so casual with them that you cannot establish order. They are like spoiled children. Right. So when you're so casual, and then the casual times end and it's time to button up and tighten up, then they can't, because they are so accustomed to either enjoying everything or resenting everything. So let's go over to the Daily Stoic, August 19th. Daily Stoic is by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Highly encourage you guys to pick up a copy, guys and gals, readers and listeners alike. Smash that like and subscribe button for me too while you're watching, if you like it. August 19th, corralling the unnecessary. It is said that if you would have peace of mind, busy yourself with little. But wouldn't a better saying be do what you must, and as required of a rational being created for public life? For this brings not only the peace of mind of doing few things, but the greater peace of doing them well. Since the vast majority of our words and actions are unnecessary, Corralling them will create an abundance of leisure and tranquility. As a result, we shouldn't forget at each moment to ask, is this one of the unnecessary things? But we must not corral not only unnecessary actions, but unnecessary thoughts too. So needless acts don't tag along after them. Marcus Aurelius Meditations 4.24. Perfect, right? So these unnecessary things followed by these unnecessary thoughts that have the needless acts that tag along after them. I mean, that almost follows word for word with what Sun Tzu said. If you're so nice, you can't employ them. If you're so kind, you cannot command. If you're so casual, you cannot establish order. One thing kind of leads to the other. The Star Wars analogy, the path to the dark side. Hate leads to anger. Anger leads to vengeance, and vengeance leads to, and that whole thing. And so, the Stoics were not monks. They didn't retreat to the sanctuary of a monastery or a temple. They were politicians, businessmen, soldiers, artists. So, all of us. They practiced their philosophy amid the busyness of life, just as you are attempting to do, just as we are attempting to do. The key to accomplishing that is to ruthlessly expunge the inessential from our lives, what vanity obligates us to do, what greed signs us up for, what ill discipline adds to our plate, what a lack of courage prevents us from saying no to. All of this we must cut. It is a relentless game of execution to be a Stoic, because it is rep after rep after rep after rep after mental rep, physical, mental, physical, over and over and over and over and over again, because you're trying to always do all of this stuff that we're meditating on and looking back on and talking about and discussing. And the daily meditations are great because it reminds us, up until this point today, even when I've made this video, I'm like thinking of all the little ways that I've failed, of like, I could have done this, 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 I could have stopped doing this, I could have stopped doing that, I could have done this in time, I could have, right? Instead, I spent too much time on Facebook Reels, YouTube Reels, and reading, and things that aren't the best for me. Reading was like, it was good, but it was not focused. It was just kind of that. So tying the two together, I think, is very easy to see the correlation of a spoiled child with, I think maybe some people will be familiar with like the sneaky Pete caveman brain, your lazy brain, your lazy dark self, your id, I guess, if you will, your shadow, that wants to do all of the lazy things, all of the bad things, all of the, oh, you don't have to go to the gym today because blah blah blah, or oh, you don't have to do that today, you can take care of that tomorrow. Like, all of those voices in your head that need to be silenced is exactly what this is referencing to on a personal level. On a societal level, again, we can extrapolate that out and we can see how people aren't practicing such reflections in their lives, and it's causing this chaos that we're seeing. And so it's our job and duty as a Stoic to practice them in our personal lives, so that in hopes that emanates out into society as a whole, in a way. But again, we don't want to force anything. So while you're doing it, keep standing tall, and we will see you on the next one.